Thomas Wessling reporting on the MS4 virus. Here I have a representation of the virus. We have at the ends the antigens and the glycoproteins. The antigens in the red and the glycoproteins in the yellow. Inside, if you look, we have our single-stranded RNA and our reverse transcriptase, which turns the RNA into DNA. So the antigens, they are essentially the markers of the virus, and they signal to the immune system. During these antigens, they mutate once. They mutate once on the virus, and essentially this camouflages the virus so the immune system can't detect it. So one would ask, how do you know this is the MS4 virus? Well, the antigens are specific to the virus, especially once they go their first mutation. And this, after the mutation, the immune system can no longer detect this virus, and that's why it's so deadly. To battle the virus, the immune system has essentially fighter cells which recognize the foreign antigens in the virus. They're essentially like a police force, and they're trying to arrest the criminals. So as the police force, which would be the immune system, as they try to arrest it, then it mutates, and this helps avoid detection from the police. And then essentially, this virus jumped species from cows. It originated in cows, and it was used to remove the horns in cows. But as it jumped species to humans through dairy products, it now disintegrates bones.
Hello, my name is Allison Lodermeyer, and I am an immunologist and representative from the Center of Disease Control located in Atlanta, Georgia. I am broadcasting from Channel 77 News to give you the latest information on the MS4 virus. First, I would like to welcome Dr. Shauna Rivedal from the University of Wisconsin-Madison Hospital, who has been working hard to treat and cure this virus. Everyone give a warm welcome to Dr. Rivedal. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Allison, for having me on your news broadcast.
Oh, you're very welcome. Now, I think something that a lot of people out there really want to know is what are some of the symptoms of this virus, and what should people be on the lookout for?
Well, unfortunately, what makes this virus so lethal is that the initial symptoms are very difficult to diagnose, since they do not appear until 2 to 3 days after the initial infection, and the virus's incubation period of 4 to 48 hours. However, initial symptoms include joint discomfort, unusual fatigue, low blood pressure, and neutropenic fever. Do not hesitate to go to your local hospital if you think you have these symptoms, regardless of if they seem like it might be just the basic common cold.
Good to know.
And if anyone experiences extreme jolts of joint pain, broken bones, punctured organs, or extreme fatigue, he or she is most likely in the 3rd stage of infection and is experiencing bone dissolution, which, for those of you who do not know, means that your bones are dissolving. Those who can no longer move are in the process of zombification, which includes the fading of pigment from the skin and blob-like limbs.
All right, good to know. Now, I think a lot of people are also concerned about if, say, they have a loved one who they have started to show the symptoms and they're afraid they're going to become a zombie. They want to know, how quickly is this virus going to progress?
Thank you. That's a very valid question, Allison, and I'm sure the audience wants answers to. The virus can be transmitted immediately upon infection. It is most infectious during its 4 to 48 hour incubation period when no symptoms are present. Approximately 99,700 people are infected each day.
It's a shame.
Once the initial infections appear, the victims are now in stage 2 of the virus, which occurs 2 to 3 days after the incubation period. 24 to 32 hours after initial symptoms appear, stage 3 of the virus occurs, which is the bone dissolution stage.
Okay.
The process of zombification takes 6 hours after bone dissolution first begins. Once level 4 is reached, the virus can no longer be transmitted through the air via blood due to the lack of blood within the zombies, but the zombie can still transmit the virus if it bites or eats another human.
All right, good to know. Now, if, say, I'm just walking down the street, like a lot of people are, and they're afraid that everyone they walk past is going to be a zombie, and there's all this fear going around, how are people going to know that person is a zombie? What do they look like? What are the symptoms are they showing?
Well, the one lucky aspect of this virus is that you can very easily tell if someone is a zombie. because they will have a colorless complexion due to their lack of blood cells, and they will also have blob-like limbs. So most likely they aren't going to be able to move around very fast and blend in with the human population.
Okay. Now, perhaps the most burning question for a lot of our viewers is that if they or if someone they know has contracted this terrible MS4 virus, is there any hope? Is there any way to treat this horrible virus?
No. I'm just kidding. Don't worry, watchers out there. There is a way to treat this MS4 virus. Once the infection diagnosis is confirmed through a full blood count and nucleic acid hybridization, level 1, 2, and 3 patients, those who had the initial symptoms we discussed earlier, or those experiencing the beginning stages of bone dissolution, they can be treated with an antibody procedure. After a week, 90.15% of these patients actually exhibit a full recovery.
That's just wonderful.
I agree. The antibody procedure uses a highly concentrated injection of 100,000 antibodies 3 times a day, using antibodies modified to recognize the mutated virus as a pathogen and not part of the body. If necessary, utilize gene therapy in level 3 patients to introduce genetically engineered bone cells into the patient to replace the destroyed bone cells if bone dissolution is advanced. Patients who still enter the zombification anyways, or the level 4 patients who are already zombies, they too have some hope. They can have an antibody treatment which incorporates 500,000 antibodies 3 times a day, and they can also be administered genetically engineered bone cells to rebuild those dissolved bones. And surprisingly enough, these zombies have a 45.6% survival rate. And for all those individuals out there who are not infected, there is a vaccine, and we will be vaccinating everyone.
All right, well, thank you, Dr. Rudell. That's some very comforting information you've provided us all. So I hope all these viewers can take in this information and apply it to their lives so they can avoid this infection.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me, Allison.
You're very welcome. Now, our next guest is a friend and colleague of mine from the Center of Disease Control. I'd like to welcome Mr. Brendan Provo, who's a health representative from the Center of Disease Control.
Ah, welcome, welcome.
Thank you for being here,
Nice
Mr. Provo.
Nice to be here.
All right. Now, I think a lot of people, there's a lot of things that the community needs to know about this virus, but what would you say are some of the most important things people need to be aware of?
Well, I would say one of the most important things is you need to always be aware of your surroundings and be aware of your community, globe, and nation, for that matter. Just be aware of the people around you, your friends, your family, your co-workers, even people you just meet on the street. I mean, if you start seeing them exhibit some of the symptoms that Dr. Rivedal described, just take them to the hospital. Just get that test done. There are ways to test for it. A blood count. We have methods that we've introduced to help people with this virus. And it's just, we need to help people.
All right, that's very true. Now, perhaps the most important thing that people need to know is how they can avoid infection. So what are some steps they can take to avoid becoming infected?
Yeah, some of the things that you can do is just make sure you're always thinking about sanitation, just thinking about if you see someone with an open wound, that you're always working to sanitize, wash your hands, keep everything safe. If you help someone with a cut and you get it on your skin, wash your skin, go get the test. It's seconds that can save your life.
Now, I know that this the virus stems from dairy products, so should we be completely avoiding them, just avoiding milk? What's the whole process there?
Well, at this time, what we've said, what our researchers have said, is that we need to just avoid dairy products in general. If it's made with milk, avoid it at this time. We don't have too much research in, but once we can get more, we might be able to narrow the ban. But just for now.
Okay, so everybody, emphasize that again. No dairy
milk.
products. No milk.
Throw it away.
No ice cream. No cheese. No yogurt.
Get it away. Get it out.
Throw it away.
Now.
All right. Now, last question for you is, in case of exposure, what should people do if they think they may have been infected?
If you think you may be infected, the number one priority is getting to your general practitioner, getting to a doctor. Go to the ER if you must, urgent care, whatever. Go to a lab, get the test done. They can take a blood sample, get your, they can have a full lab workup on it. They can do a probe if necessary to find out if we have the virus in you, but we need to find out. So I mean, if you think you have it, don't hesitate. Go now.
It can save your life. Thank you, Mr. Provo, for being
Oh,
here.
nice being here.
And I will see you back when we return to Atlanta and
Ah,
work for the
nice to
Center
see
of
you.
Disease Control.
Nice to see you. Have a nice day.
You as well. Now, what you have all been waiting for, I have for you today a live zombie that I will be interviewing. Now, fear not, I have been vaccinated, so this is safe. But now, I'd like everyone out there to give a warm welcome to Thomas Westling, who is a stage 4 zombie. He's being carried in by Mr. Brendan Provo because clearly he has no bones. Hello. Hello. How are you today? Oh, I see. Now, you're a zombie as I can see, so tell me, how did you become like this? How were you infected?
Milkshake.
Milkshake. What kind of milkshake? Is it a strawberry milkshake?
Chocolate.
Chocolate milkshake, everybody. Alright, so, okay. Alright, okay. Oh, thank you, Mr. Provo. Now, Thomas, how are you enjoying life without bones? Not so good, huh? No? Alright. Okay, so, do you have any hope that you could be cured and perhaps have bones again?
No.
No?
No.
So, do you need to go home now? Okay. Mr. Provo, could you please come remove Mr. Thomas from the premises? Thank you. Thank you for being here, Thomas. Go enjoy another milkshake. Now, to sum up everything that we have learned today from our wonderful guests who have told us the latest information on the virus, the Center of Disease Control has provided us with a public service announcement to go to all viewers so you know all the facts about this virus. Number 1 is to avoid dairy. Evidence has shown that this virus is carried in milk, so all dairy products should be avoided. Second, stay away from infected victims. The virus has been shown to spread through open wounds and eventually through the air, so do not go anywhere near anyone who has exhibited symptoms. If you or someone you know has symptoms, which include fever, joint pain, or a blob-like figure, go to the hospital immediately where the doctors can administer treatment and quarantine them from the remainder of the healthy population. And lastly, get the vaccine. There's a vaccine available for anyone who is not infected and can prevent you from getting the virus. So everybody should, as quickly as possible, make your way to a clinic to receive this vaccine. For more information, please visit our office for the Center of Disease Control, where there are pamphlets available to better spread the word to protect yourself from the MS4 virus. Thank you.
You're gonna stop it?
Any hope? Is there any way to treat this horrible MS4 virus?
No.
Everybody, we're here today, and I'm here to show you the MS4 virus. We have Let me do it.